Well, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming by. I have another Bible review for you. I have a couple of them coming up actually that I'm excited about. Today we're taking a look at the ESV, English Standard Version, single column journaling Bible in original black. The ESV translation is put out by Crossway. I want to say thank you right off the top to Crossway for providing me with this Bible so I can show you all what resources are out there as far as Bibles go and English Standard Version translation Bibles and what all the different ones out there are. So I want to open this up and show you what is inside. So again, we have in original black, ESV single column journaling Bible. I just noticed this, as a matter of fact, as I was poking around. The ESV Bible is guaranteed to last a lifetime, which is pretty cool. I never really had paid attention to that before. And this is a very simple, very simple cover. And it always has a little bit of information on the back, which we'll go over. All right, let's get rid of that. Okay, so single column journaling Bible. I just did, I think the last video that I posted, as a matter of fact, has some thoughts and tips on how to not write in your Bible. If you have a Bible that you like to read and not highlight or mark in. And one of the tips I gave you was to have a journaling Bible. So this is a full review of one of the Bibles that I mentioned in that video. So you can go back and check that out, but I want you to see some of the options and resources that you have. So the cover is very simple. It does have this rubber strap, which is actually kind of nice. I think that it's nice because I have a couple of Bibles and notebooks that have this type of strap on them. And you know what? Often you stick your bulletin in there or you stick whatever it might be, sheet of paper in there, and it falls out. Naturally, you're carrying it around and you don't hold it the right direction, whatever, and it falls out. So you can just strap it up. It's not going anywhere. You could even probably slide a pen in there if you wanted. This is a hardcover, by the way. So it says ESV here. That's the ESV logo. Single column journaling Bible made by Crossway. Let me measure it for you before we get started. So it's really not very big, which is kind of nice. Sometimes these journaling Bibles can be really, really big. This would fit on a shelf on your desk nicely, even in a purse. So you're looking at about 8 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches by 1.5 inches. Just to give you an idea of the size of the Bible we're looking at here. Okay. There's no major frills to this Bible. It's simple, and I say that in the best possible way, honestly, because sometimes Bibles get crowded, especially if it's a reference Bible or a study Bible and you're writing in it also. It could have so much stuff in it that you lose your notes. And the whole purpose for this particular Bible is that you're writing in it. So you might not want to get lost with some of all that other stuff, which makes it a great second Bible for writing in. So let's take a look at it and open it on up. It has a very simple presentation page. As I've always said, not always, over the last year since I opened up that super old Bible from the 1800s, fill this presentation page out right in here, because somebody in the future may want to know what you were thinking. And your basic title page, ESV Text Edition, 2016. So I'll stop on some of that information if you want to, for some reason, know about all this. We have a table of contents, standard table of contents in the order of the 66 books of the canon, and then just one of alphabetical order. All right. Then, as I mentioned this with all the Bibles that I go over, and maybe it's something you've never paid attention to, there's like a preface to the Bible, which sounds funny, but really what this is the translation philosophy, how it was translated, how some of the words were handled, and I highly suggest you read this. You should know, regardless of the type of translation that you have, how your Bible is translated, why they decided to translate it, and what makes it different than, say, the New American Standard Bible, New International Version, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, we get our features. So it'll go through like how it does the footnotes, why it does the footnotes. Again, like I said, this is beautifully simple because the idea is for you to write in it. So there's not a whole lot of extra features on this. It's not like a cross-reference Bible. It doesn't have study notes. The idea is that while you're studying, you're making your own notes. Then we get into the Bible. So let me flip open here. And we'll go over a couple things. You get about 2 inches. I'll measure again because I still happen to have the ruler here. Not about 2 inches. 2 inches on the money. Okay? So you get 2 inches on the outside margin. And I want you to see that the outside margin is lined. For somebody like me that's a little OCD, let me tell you how nice that is. I love that there's lines. There's not a whole lot of space on the inside margin. In my opinion, the inside margin tends to be a little bit harder to write in anyway. But you get almost a ½ an inch. So you could write some stuff, especially if you use symbols like I do. But there's not a ton of room on the inside margin. Plenty of room on the top and lots of room on the side with lines. This is 7.5. It's listed as 7.5 font. My one teeny little, really insignificant point of constructive criticism on this would be the font is a little small. So if this is your regular daily driver reading Bible, the font is on the small side. It's always hard to tell. It's always hard to tell via video. But I don't have a problem. I've mentioned this before in other videos. I don't have a problem with vision. My sight's pretty good, so I don't have trouble seeing the font, but I can recognize that it's on the small side. So that being said, that's something that you might want to know. If you tend to need bigger words and bigger type font, then this might not be the one for you. At the very least, it might not be the one you want to be reading through all the time. If you have maybe your second Bible to the side and you're journaling in this one or drawing in this one, fantastic. But I wanted to make sure you knew that the font is on the smaller side. This is single column format. I know that a lot of you out there like single column format. It's a little different if you grew up reading double column. But I actually like single column format. It's kind of nice. It's almost like reading a regular book if you're going through and reading, especially sections at length. I do want to mention, I'll flip open to the New Testament in just a minute, but this is not a red letter edition, so all black. All right, let's flip open to the New Testament. And on almost any page of one of the Gospels, you would see something that Jesus has said, and none of it's in black. So this is black letter. You do have your footnotes. There always should be footnotes in your Bible because there's always something that should be said somewhere. These are not study notes. Again, they're very simply footnotes. Maybe a word, they translated a word in one way, and they want you to know that some people have translated it in a different way. Or there are parts in the Bible that, like the long ending of Mark, they want you to know that this wasn't in the original autographs. Whatever the case may be, is there always should be some footnotes, but you'll see them at the bottom of the page here. At the very end, there's a cool feature I always like to mention when it's in there, because I don't know, I just like it. So you of course have your tables of weights and measures, because weights and measures in the Bible were a little bit different, or they just might not be something you are tending to think of. And it has a reading plan. So we have through the year, and you can just go along, go along while you're reading and follow their reading plan, and that's kind of nice. You can read this over and over and over because it's based on the date, not the day of the week per se. and you can go through the Bible in a year. I think that's really super cool. This one is broken down into an Old Testament reading, a Psalm, and a New Testament reading. So again, you can go through in a year, and I think that's really neat. And then in the back, you have a pretty thick page. The paper on this is thicker than just a normal standard Bible, which is kind of nice because again, the idea is that you're writing in it. And since the idea is that you're writing in it, you want to lessen or reduce the amount of bleed through. And you also, sometimes you're writing with like a really sharp ballpoint pen or something, you can tear through your Bible. I've had that happen in other Bibles, and with this paper, you're gonna have to work at it for that to happen. It's not the thickest paper I've ever felt, but it's definitely on the thick side, which is super nice in my opinion. So that's really it. This is, again, like I said, a beautifully simple Bible. The idea behind a journaling Bible is that you will be doing the writing. And I think this is a fantastic resource. It comes at I haven't checked the price lately, but honestly, it's not very expensive. If you want to be doing more writing, if you want to write your prayers down or your thoughts down, but you don't want to do that in, let's say, your daily driver, this is an excellent resource to have. Maybe you're an avid journaler. And here's another idea that you could use with this Bible that I'm just thinking of now and is fantastic. So you open up to this reading plan, right? And you start reading through it. And as you're reading these different sections, you write the date that you're reading them and what's going on. Even if you just keep this as a standard journal, what's going on in your life and what are where your heart's at as you're reading the text. Fantastic Bible to do that because again, it has lines, it has the space in it for you. This is a hardcover, so it would sit on a shelf very nicely, and you could keep it for a long, long time. I hope this video has helped you. Of course, as always, if you have any questions about this particular text or any other for that matter, please leave a comment. And I'll do my best to help you. I want to again thank Crossway for sending me this Bible that I could show to you guys. I really appreciate that, and I do my best to share resources with you, let you know what's out there, and hopefully help you in your study and grow closer to the Lord and build the kingdom. Hope you guys have a great day.